Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Well-Fed Business Podcast with Connor Benham. Check out the grammar there. And the evil bald genius. And in today's episode, we're going to tell you exactly how to raise your prices without losing sales, how to deal with price objections so you can be securing sales without giving those gouging discounts, and what your prospects really want. And it's not a low price. But before we get on into all of that, I want to talk to the adults in the room. We're opening the doors soon for Core Control Elite. This is our top end mastermind where we meet up 4 times a year in Cork. If you want the details on that, go to wellfedbusiness.com/elite-waitlist. We're currently building up the waitlist because there's going to be a bit of a rush when the doors open on April 3rd. And this is a message, as I said, just for the big boys and girls with big boy girl businesses that want to belong to a community of a small community when letting no more than 4 more people in. We've already got 4, so no more than 8. And they want to belong to a community of pretty smart individuals, if I say so myself. The elites are pretty good guys, aren't they, John?
Nah.
You hate them.
Bunch of wankers. No, they are. I mean, testament to all this is I've been running this group for 10 years this coming October. And there are people in it who've been in for nearly since the beginning. The last founding members dropped out about a year ago. I've had people come to these meetings from all over the world, and we're talking Australia, New Zealand, the Philippines, Qatar, the UAE, Canada, Norway, and obviously the UK. They come to Cork 4 times a year to sit with me in a room and get grilled by me personally. So it's not for the faint-hearted. It's not cheap. But as usual, we give our double your money back guarantee if you do the fucking work. But yeah, it is for big boys and girls only. All right. This is not for tyre kickers. This is not for people who are going to say, yeah, but can't afford it. All right. If you think you can't afford it, don't even bother looking at the page because you really can't, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. If that thought crosses
your mind. It's a waste
your
of
mind,
electrons.
No. Yeah. It's a waste of your mental energy because not only do you have to pay your dues, we're also going to be asking you and helping you invest in rather expensive advertising, building new systems and processes, and in some cases, completely tearing down businesses and rebuilding them from the ground up. And all of this costs money.
It costs money, but it's an investment because it pays itself back. You know, our goal is, indeed, our goal with Core Control as well, to be fair, but our aim with Elite in particular is to get you making enough traceable, measurable, and attributable money extra within the first 30 to 60 days. So basically your membership is better than free. This is not something where we say, yeah, wait 5 years and you'll get your payback. You'll get your payback pretty much straight away. With the single proviso, you do the work.
Yeah. But with that being said, don't join the group and then start pissing and moaning because we ask you to spend £100 a month on a proper email system or something. That's not the sort of people we're looking for. We're looking for people willing, ready, and able to invest. But yeah. I love the elite meetings. There's nothing more fun than making a grown man cry, is there, John?
Yeah, I mean, there's no two ways about it. It's a particular kind of person joins Elite, which is why there's quite an involved application process, 2 stages. And we do turn people away. Hey, I've turned people away after they set up their direct debit because they've pissed me off. The money's been there with me to grab, and I've just said, no, I'm going to cancel your direct debit. We've not taken anything yet. Don't bother me again. So, of course, he bothered me again. And my reply was, it was a long apology. Then tell me what you've decided. And I just replied, what part of don't bother me again do you find hard to understand? You know, it's that fucking serious. Well, the thing is, people talk about stuff and share stuff with us in Elite. They won't even share with their spouses. That's kind of the purpose of the group. It's a very, I hate to use this phrase, but it's a very safe space, isn't it?
It's a very safe space. Completely
but it's
free
not
of
gentle.
Judgment. No.
Yeah, it's free of judgment and criticism of the rest of it, but it's not gentle. Please don't think it's gentle.
Yeah, this isn't like a vanilla sex club. This is a proper BDSM orgy where, you know, we're rough, but they're safe words.
That comes later. Anyway, should
Oh
we crack
God.
on with the podcast?
We do. So first and foremost, I want to talk about raising prices
Sales.
without
There we go.
losing sales. Because
Didn't
whenever
we have a question to answer first?
oh, no, we're getting into that
Oh,
shortly.
okay.
More towards the
All
end of
right.
the episode, we've got a whole
All
little
right.
section talking about the wonderful members
Look,
in our bronze community.
I've got things to do. You see, I've got to go up to Cork and fetch an old lady from the airport. This is the same old lady whose bush I trimmed a couple of summers ago with a strimmer.
Oh, that lady.
That lady.
That lady. You got paid handsomely for that as well.
I didn't get paid. No, I didn't get paid, but I trimmed her bush for free. As
You
you
dirty
do.
bastard.
Oh, I'll tell you a funny story before we start, right?
Go on.
She said to Sarah, would John come and help me move a plant pot? It's too heavy, I can't move it. Yeah, all right. So I rolled up to her house and she's got this, yeah, it is a big fucking plant pot and it's full of potting stuff. And I says, that? She says, yeah, that's okay, right. So I fucking braced my back and I got a grip thinking this is going to be heavy. And I lifted and the fucking thing went flying up in the air. I nearly went backwards. It weighed practically nothing. And I'm thinking, Christ, you're fucking weak, aren't you? She couldn't move it. And I was expecting something heavy. She's probably 75.
Well, yeah, we can't expect 75.
Yeah, I know, but I wasn't really thinking. But I went, whoo! I just wasn't expecting it. I am very strong. Certainly
like,
stronger than a 75-year-old lady.
Have you ever seen those? You would bloody hope so.
One good thrust, I'd break a spine.
Oh, God. And the rest. One thrust down there and you cracking her skull. Have you ever seen those like prank videos where they're getting people to really like push, like they've got their hand there and they're like, push up against my hand. And then they remove their hand and they just they whack themselves straight in the face. That's kind of how I imagine it was with you and this plant. Like,
it was, honestly. I could have done myself a serious fucking injury, actually. Anyway, carry on to the topic at hand. Often,
when we talk to the uneducated, and it's not their fault because they haven't been taught this is not conventional wisdom. The conventional wisdom is if you want to make more sales, you have to cut your prices because people think that's the only thing that matters. So we want to talk about how to raise your prices without losing sales because it's one of the first things we get people to do. We're like, right, let's get those prices up. And often they say rather squeamishly, but won't I lose sales?
Well, I want to add something here. I want to add a caveat to this. You will lose some sales, probably, but they are the sales you want to lose because you don't want to be selling to price buyers. I want to be very clear about that. Price buyers are the second worst clients you'll ever get. The first worst clients are enthusiastic ones, but that's a different topic. So yeah, it's how to raise your prices without losing customers or clients or sales, except the ones you want to lose because working with them would be worse than having your foreskin cleaned with a wire brush.
Mm-hmm. And the price increase more than makes up for the lost sales.
I mean, I can show people the maths, but I got a handy graph somewhere that shows. It's a graph of your price increase, your profit increase, and how many sales you need to make to maintain where you are. And the numbers are ridiculous. Now you can lose about a quarter of your sales on a 10% price increase and still stay where you are. It's stupid. I don't remember the numbers offhand, but it's wildly disproportionate to what you would think.
Yeah, incredibly so. Something that people fail to realize is, especially when you start working with us and you put your prices up, you're probably going to maintain that same sales rate because you introduced a proper choreographed sales process from lead generation to sale. You know, you stop winging it. Where beforehand, every step of the way, you're getting ad hoc referrals, you're getting ad hoc leads from your website. There's no systemized way of generating those leads with properly designed lead magnets that properly call out the exact sort of person that you're looking for. Then we get you to introduce all of this email nurturing. Then all of a sudden you've got scripts for every sales point, every touch sales point. My God, people are going to be more than happy to pay the higher prices when they go through such a delicate, well choreographed process.
And even before we do that, we just get you to increase your prices. Because what you fail to understand is, bearing in mind what Connor's just said, This is all predicated on selling to the right people. Well, the right person for your product or service isn't going to quibble at 10% increase in price. If they are, you're not aiming it at the right person, or you're aiming it in the wrong way. Good example, I always use this because it's a really good one, is my eyes. Okay, they charged me, it was basically €8,000, including the hospital stay for my eyes, because I was going blind. All right, now I've got better than 20/20 vision. Well, they charged me $8,000. If they'd have charged me 8,800, do you think I would have said, "Oh no, that €800 a showstopper. I'll sit in the dark, thanks very much, forever"? You know, no, it's not like that. You know, if people want it, the 10% is irrelevant.
Yeah, 10% is completely irrelevant. Combine that with a proper choreographed sales process, you're fucking laughing. I don't know how many times we have to say it, but if you're winging sales opportunities and you believe you're better without some form of structure, you're kidding yourself. You're absolutely kidding yourself.
Oh, it's ego.
It's pure ego.
Ego
fear
protection.
As well.
Well, yeah, but the fear comes from the ego. When we talk about ego, and this is huge in core control, by the way, it's one of the first things we talk about. Let go of your ego, because ego isn't just. I mean, when we talk about ego, we think of some Essex wide boy in his BMW mouthing it off, but it's not. Ego is, if you are afraid on LinkedIn of, say, posting something because of what people might think, or you even post yourself, and I've seen this many times, I don't want people to think I'm being salesy. That's ego, because you're worried about what other people think of you. You want to appear a certain way to others. Hey, that's ego. Now, if I would recommend to all of you, you get comfortable with the idea of being not okay in front of others. Be like Peter Falk, Columbo. Dirty raincoat, slightly dishevelled hair, smoking, seemed a bit stupid and scatty, but he always caught his man. That was quite deliberate, and it's a bit of a caricature. But get comfortable with being not okay in front of everyone. Be the least okay person in the room. So, maybe have your sweatshirt like now, or your shirt, and maybe your tie's a bit wonky. Maybe you've got a food stain on your collar. All right. Maybe you got a shaving cut if you're a bloke. Maybe if you're a woman as well. I don't know. Forget your pen. Maybe you say, I forgot my notepad. Can someone lend me a piece of paper? Oh, I haven't got my pad. Pull a dirty envelope out your pocket and write on that. Be un-okay. Give other people a sense of superiority over you, because that sense of superiority of their ego over yours, well, that will be very forgiving, because they'll just feel better, and they'll feel they're doing you a favor. They're better, they're superior. They're dishing out favors to you. If you care about that, because let's face it, your job is to make sales. If you can help these people, why are you worried what they think? You go home to a nice fat bank balance and you pay for your Sainsbury's and Tesco shopping. You've got what you want. They've got what they want. The only thing that's a problem for you is your ego. Grow up.
And we really walk our talk here. I mean, for those that are watching on YouTube, have a look at John right now. He's got no shame in turning up, with a wonky beard.
Dirty old cat. With a wonky what?
A wonky beard. You shave it wonky.
My beard
on purpose,
is not
don't
wonky.
You?
Is it?
I thought you did it like that on purpose.
Like what?
Wonky.
It's not wonky, is it? No. This is the great thing about being autistic. Here's the great thing about being autistic. I can't tell if people are winding me up or not.
Oh, it's not wonky. Not wonky. Just a good little wind up. One of the other things you'll learn as well, when you put your prices up, you start putting together these choreographed sales processes from lead to sale. You can actually see what's fucking working and what's not working. Too many people are too scared to get out there and market themselves and actually then measure the effectiveness of their market. So they much rather, I'd much rather, just get referrals and
wing it.
Update my sales website and I just take what comes, does. That's what we hear. Bollocks. You need to be knowing fucking how good your scripts are.
Well, here's the thing, you say. Imagine this, and you're right, it is fear. Because imagine if you have a choreographed, scripted, well, it's a framework, not a script, because it's not verbatim. It's a framework that directs your conversation in the sales process from beginning to end. So you always know where you are, you always know what the next step is, and the most important of all, you always know when to say stop. This isn't going any further, all right? Imagine if you've got a process like that, Well, what does that reveal to you? The most scary thing that can reveal to you, what I'm doing doesn't work. Well, it's not so scary that it doesn't work, and that's why you're not making any money. That's scary enough, but you know it anyway because you've not got enough money. What's really, really scary about that is I've got to do something different. That's really fucking terrifying to most people because it might mean, oh, I've got to start to learn to sell, and I don't want to do that. So it's much better to use stuff like social media marketing, which is completely unmeasurable, untraceable, untrackable. All right, you can't attribute sales to any of it really, but it's comfortable because hey, it's just me being raw and authentic and raw and vulnerable. It's nonsense. It doesn't work. Nothing like people say it does. I've proven this with a little video last week.
Also, again, back to the ego, is if you and everyone should be doing this, little spreadsheet just of all your touch points with all your prospects, when you have your sales meeting with them, and did you close them? That will give you your close percentage. It will show you how well you move people from being a lead into actually having a sales conversation. So this many people put their hands up and I managed to get this many into a sales conversation. That gives you a percentage. That's essentially almost a score out of 100 on how efficient you are. And then from that, you have you've got them in the sales meeting. You have the sales meeting. Did you close them? That then gives you another number. People are scared of that number. They're terrified of seeing that 10% and revealing how bad they actually are at sales. They don't want to realize that I've got to talk to 10 people to make a sale. So that means I really need to tighten something up somewhere and make this system a little bit more efficient because they enjoy talking to people. It's the confusion of activity and achievement all over again, isn't it?
It is. I remember talking to a bloke a little while ago. He actually joined us, but he was telling me on the one hand, yeah, if my conversion rate when I sit in front of a client is about 30 or 40%. And then we went through some numbers. And if that was true, he'd been doing about like 2 or 3 million a year. And I said, but that doesn't, these two things don't match up. You're obviously, he's not lying. I don't think he was lying to me. He was deceiving himself because he didn't have a measurable process. And we all do it. Take it to its very simplest. Research has shown rich children, if you ask rich children to estimate the size of a 50p piece, rich children, or the children of rich families, always assume it to be smaller than poor children. It's that simple. We overinflate what we don't have enough of. We always think we've got enough time. We overestimate our abilities. More than half of drivers would mark themselves as better than average.
Yeah,
including me.
That is hilarious.
From a legal point of view, no, I'm not. I break the law all the time. But I think
from a legal point of view, I'm 0.01%.
What? The bottom end, you mean?
No, top.
Bollocks.
Top. No points.
Did you do this, you never cross your hands. You do this.
Hey, I'm wanking that steering wheel off with two hands at all times.
I usually steer with one hand, the other hand's playing with myself. Anyway, what's the next thing? Second, so that's you need a choreographed system. There's if you're going to take this seriously, let's do it properly. Let's not wing it.
So here's what you do. Simply put together a framework of all the things that you want to know from every time you have a conversation with a prospect, whether it's the initial phone call, whether you're going into people's houses and making a presentation there, whether you're doing it over the phone. For every touch point you have with prospects, have a framework to follow. That simple. 2 is start implementing some form of tracking. Get comfortable with the idea that you may, first recognize how many meetings you have to have in order to make a sale. At the end of the day, sales is just a game of numbers and math. And then we play around with the numbers and the math to make you more money. So put together some frameworks, put together some tracking, and please, for the love of God, know your close rate. On the triage calls, just before we wrap up, I ask them, how much money do you want to make? How much money do you want to make? I ask where they're at and what they want to make. And okay, and what's your average ticket price? Okay, and how many of those do you sell a month? Okay, and how many meetings have you had this month to sell that many? And often it's about a 10% close rate. Often that seems to be. And I say, that's 10%, and they go, oh, that's a lot worse than I thought it was. And we've literally just done fag packet math. And I say, so in order for you to get your goal at your current close rate, you need to have this amount of meetings. And often it means they need to be having meetings all day, every day to hit their goal. And I asked, so what you can do about it now you know these numbers? And some of them say, well, I've got to get more meetings. And I'm like,
I mean, that is one answer, to be fair, but it's not
a wrong answer.
Not the best answer.
No. So that's
the second thing then.
Well, the second thing we want to talk about is your wonky beard.
It's not my wonky beard. You know what's wonky? It's you that's wonky. Your fucking leg. So you're like,
I have a wonky leg.
He has a wonky leg.
The other day, I've got one leg that's about probably, I don't know, 1.5 inches, maybe shorter than the other. So it's fairly significant when I walk, and it means it feels like I'm constantly walking on stairs everywhere, and it's a big bang every time I step down on my shorter leg because it's got to fall a longer distance. Yeah, it's not like a seamless walk, you know. Most people when they walk, it's seamless, isn't it? For me, it's seamless, nice and soft. Bang, seamless, nice and soft. Bang. So I had to go on Amazon the other day, and I had to order myself a new heel insert. Because I have a little heel insert to make the leg similar length within the shoe. And they were all marketed towards
short people.
Yeah. But they were sold in packs of 2. Yeah, they were sold in packs of 2. Put these in both of your shoes, you'll be 3 inches taller, you'll be more confident. Yeah, you'll be sexier, this, that, and the other. And I just couldn't bring myself to buy one of them. I didn't want that on my digital footprint. I want a proper orthopedic one. I need to be able to peel the layers off.
Ego.
No, not ego.
When I had my physio tell me to get some inserts for my shoes to raise my heels because of my Achilles tendonitis, she said, and you'll feel more confident. And I just started laughing. And she says, why are you laughing? I says, if I get any more self-confident, they'll arrest me. For anyone watching this or listening to it even who's never met me, I am really short. I'm 5'5", just under 5'5". It has absolutely never been a problem for me, except in the supermarkets and the newsagents reaching the top shelf. I just don't care. So I see these ads for short people's inserts, and all the ads are aimed at short guys feeling more confident, getting better looking girls. I've had loads of girlfriends much taller than me. It's honestly, I just don't understand why people get so fucking upset about it. Honestly. I used to know a guy who was 5'3", right? And he was going to go and pay to go to Russia and have that operation where they actually cut your bone and then they stretch it apart and the bone ends grow together and they keep stretching it and you can put about 1.5 inches to 2 inches on your height. He was going to do that. I just thought, why? What's the fucking point?
Yeah, why go from 5'3" to 5'4.5"?
Yeah, I suppose so. But I mean, I could go from 5'5" to 5'7", but why would I bother? I just don't care.
When you're that short, you're short regardless. You're fucked. Like it's like putting a wet paper towel on a fucking amputated leg.
You're saying it in a way as like trying to insult me. I don't care. Why would I? Honestly,
it'd be pointless. That's why you wouldn't.
But it'd be pointless anyway. Why would I just don't understand it. I used to be a fucking nightclub doorman, for God's sake. Never stopped me doing anything.
If you could take a magic pill that makes you're 6'1", would you take it?
No. Why? What would be the point?
So you can reach.
I'd have to buy all my own new clothes and shit. Then I'd bang my head when I walk through doors. And why would I bother? I just don't get it. Honestly, I'm confused.
But you still keep those size 5 feet of yours, so you're 6'1" with these absolutely baby feet.
Every time you walk on the beach, you sink into the sand like a tent peg.
You're just constantly falling over. So, when you finally get the courage to put your prices up, what's the next logical thing that you're going to face? Well, now you've got top prices. You're going to start getting price objections. And this is where some people fold like a fucking pack of cards. Someone goes, oh, that's a bit expensive. And it's the first ever time they've bloody heard it. And all of a sudden they come back and they comment on our adverts, they comment on our book, and they comment on this, that, and the other. And they say, you told me to put my prices up. And someone said, that's expensive. What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm going to lower my prices and offer a discount immediately. That's not what you do. What we're going to talk about now is how to overcome common price objections. Because if you're charging premium fees, you're going to be faced with them. So, caveat: the worst thing to do is back down, get scared, and offer a discount to secure the work, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. That's absurd. Here's the thing. I mean, let me again some more caveats. Really, if you're marketing yourself properly, an effective marketing for premium services and products starts right on the front end. This stuff should run through your business like Brighton runs through a stick of rock. It's not something you plaster on at a certain stage. You suddenly introduce it. It's like Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce is quality right from the get-go. Maserati is quality right from the get-go. A Hermes bag, I don't know whether it's quality or not, but it's expensive. But it's exclusivity from the get-go. Probably to the point where you can't just walk into the shop. You probably have to be let in, that kind of thing. So this stuff starts at the beginning. That's one caveat. And the other thing is you don't really overcome a price objection because often price objections are nothing of the sort. Here's a typical thing. That's expensive. That's not a price objection. That's a statement of fact. Well, rather, that's a statement of opinion.
It doesn't mean no either.
No, absolutely. Look, I mean, here's something on that topic. Here's something you need to understand. If someone is talking to you about your product or service and they are discussing the price in any way, shape, or form, it doesn't mean they don't want it. Right? Because if it did, they wouldn't be talking to you anymore. There's various things here, but often what it means is they want what you're selling. They just haven't quite seen the reason for paying that much money for it yet. So that's a good thing. And sometimes it's utter bullshit. So, right, it's a genuine example to illustrate the point from one of my clients. He had a guy come to him and say, I want to buy it was a larger number of headsets, about 100 or something. I can get them for £35 on this website. You're selling them for £55. What can you do about the price? And he went, oh, shit, what do I do? I want to sell 100 headsets. It's a lot of money. And I said, well, you tell him to go to that website and buy them for £35 then. And he said, why? Are you insane, McCulloch? I said, well, the reason is, if he could get them for £35 and that was important to him, he wouldn't be talking to you about it. He'd be doing it. There is something about you and your service. I don't know what it is. I don't really care either. But there is something that's keeping him with you and saying, I want your quality, your product, your service, and their price. Now, maybe they didn't actually have the headsets in stock. It's easy to sell something cheap when you don't have it. All right. Maybe they didn't want to sell to him. Maybe they couldn't deliver in time. Maybe they have some weird kind of payment thing, like they need cash and he hasn't got the cash, he wants credit terms. I don't know. But the fact is, if he could get them for £35 a piece and that was important to him, he would be there getting them and not asking my client for a discount. So I said to him, just tell him no, go to the website. So the next thing he knows is they put in this order. They didn't even come back and reply to him. They just put in the order at £55 a piece. Well, that is the point, really. Often when people are seeming to object, they're not objecting at all. They're just trying it on. And especially in construction, you'll find they'll be there, poised above the contract. Literally, this has happened. And they'll look at you and they'll say, I'm not too sure about this. Is there something we can do about the price? And you go, oh, yeah, sure. Not a couple of grand off. No. You say, well, yeah, what we can do about it is I can put the price up or you can put the pen down and I can leave. Or you can sign it. Those are the three options. Which one is it going to be? And often they go, very funny, and just sign.
Yeah. They're just chancing it. People love the game as well. Some people thrive off, they make it their personality to try and get little discounts everywhere because they think they're smarter than everyone. You see it at restaurants all the time. They pretend to not enjoy the food and they're like, oh, it wasn't that great. Maybe there's something we can do about the price. And they're just chucking banana skins. And if you choose to fall for their trap, think of it like this. They've looked you in the eyes, they've pulled a banana skin out of their pocket. In fact, no, they've pulled a whole banana out, they've peeled it, and they've eaten it. Making eye contact, it's pretty weird. Then they drop the banana skin on the floor and they say, do you want to slip on that? And most people in this scenario, they go, yeah,
Yeah,
I
all
want to
right.
slip on that banana skin. And they
Whee!
tread on it and they fall on their ass and they go, oh, 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 that was good, wasn't it? At least I got the work. No, you fucking dingbat. If you got them that far, them throwing these banana skins that don't mean no. The only thing that means no is no. So stop interpreting these statements as no. As John says, when they say things like, oh, can we do something about the price? Well, yeah, we can put it up. When you're putting in a quote,
Yeah.
yeah, we're not advocates of quotes, but we know a lot of people that listen to this do a lot of quoting, and they do a quote in someone's house and they hand it over and they go, well, that's a lot more than the builder down the road. Just say, and
Yeah.
is it?
And
Yeah,
yeah.
why do you think that is? And
That's
sometimes they'll
more.
say, I don't know. And sometimes it's an opportunity to sell them on the value, especially if you say, why do you think that is? Sometimes they start selling themselves. Well, they'll say, well, you got a nicer van and you are more professional and you actually do turn up on time. When he was late and cancelled our appointment 5 times, he's actually really unreliable, but you've been here on time every time. And perhaps you're more expensive because you seem to have far more product knowledge and a far bigger range of options. And all of a sudden, they start selling themselves into you, and you go, "Well, that's why I'm more expensive."
If you want to push that one, when they say something like "that's more than I wanted to pay," or "that's expensive," or "you're very pricey," "you're more than anyone else," you can again look them in the eye if you want to. I don't always do it because I don't like making eye contact too much, but you can just say, yes, you're right. We are the most expensive builder, the most expensive whatever coach, whatever you are, consultant. We are the most expensive in our niche. And let me tell you why that is. Are you interested why that is? Well, then you're inviting them to ask you to tell them why you're so good. It's an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've got to remember this, people. All right. Selling yourself cheap doesn't help. Ignoring a price objection won't work. And worse still is arguing about it. You're very expensive. No, we're not. Well, that ain't going to work, you know? So it's far better to say, yes, we are fairly pricey, but there's a good reason for that. Do you mind if I tell you what that is? Now, if you want to get really technical with this with people, and you can do, I would use different words, otherwise it can sound very 1970s. You know, people want 3 things from any kind of service or product, and that is they want the best quality. They want their product or the service to do the job better than anything else. You know, they want the Rolls Royce or the Maserati or whatever. Second thing they want is they want great service. They want to go to the fucking Ritz. Okay, they want to be treated like royalty. They want to be the most important thing in that fucking service provider or product provider's world. So they want great quality and great service. And they all want it at the lowest price. Well, you can tell people you can have any 2. But no one can deliver all 3. And if they tell you they can, they're either lying, mistaken, or they're a lot better at this than I am. So I suggest you go with them. Now, if you ask people, which one do you want? You want shit service? Do you want shit quality product and service? A shit quality result, or do you want a low price? Which one are you most prepared to give up? No, most people will give up the low price. Like me. What do you want, John? Do you want great service with your eyes? Do you want a great result at the end of it? Or do you want to give up a low price? No, it's fine. I just want a low price. I don't care if you fucking tear my eyeballs apart and I get infected and it doesn't work. I just want a low price, please.
Often, as well, when you're in a specialty service, high price on its own just signifies that you're better, that you're going to do a better
Reassuringly
bit of work.
expensive.
Reassuringly expensive. That's what we want to hear. You want if everyone's saying yes to you, you've got an issue on your hands. You want to be welcoming. You want to hear price objections. 1, so you can resell them on the value, but 2, it shows you that you're on that sweet spot. If people are going and ahhing over your price, and then they still say yes, that's a sure sign that you've got your pricing pretty spot on.
Yeah, I want to be, with our pricing, this is for our business, I want about 20% of people to be saying to me, no, can't afford it, too expensive.
Yeah,
fine.
Off the bat.
I don't argue with people. I mean, there are some, let's be very clear about this as well. You know, selling is neither good nor bad. It's neither moral nor immoral. It can be done immorally or morally. Now, I am not someone who, and there are people who do this, and I could name names, but I won't. but there are people who will encourage you to put it on credit cards, to sell things you already have. Well, let's have a look around your house to see what we can find. Do you have pensions you can cash in? I wouldn't do that. It's not me. All right. There's one person who encourages people to tell their clients it's okay to put it on a credit card, and then if you go bankrupt, we will honor our side of the contract. You won't have to pay it back to the credit card company because you're bankrupt, and Visa or MasterCard or whoever will end up picking up the tab. That's actually called fraud. All right. Again, I wouldn't do anything like that. That's just obscene. It's just disgusting. So we're very ethical, but we would not encourage people to get into debt to buy our services and our products. So when people tell me they can't afford it, I tend to take it at face value. Although I do ask the question, well, okay, look, you've told me for the last hour or so that you've got this burning problem, and you've said you'll do anything to solve it. Now you're telling me you're not making enough money, you can't afford it, and you're going to come back to us, because they always say, I'll come back to you when we can afford it. I say, well, what are you going to keep doing what you've been doing to get you to where you are now? What's going to change to suddenly get you making more money so you can afford to pay us? And apart from anything else, if that happens, if you change your business, all of a sudden you can afford to pay us, you won't need us anymore because you'll have solved the problem. It's almost like if you can afford core control easily, you probably don't need core control, unless you've maybe come into some money, you've sold a house, you've been left money by a rich parent or something like that. That's a different matter. But for most people who are kind of in this feast and famine cycle, or hitting this glass ceiling of sales, you're going to have to stretch yourself to work with us. If you don't have to stretch yourself to work with us, you probably don't need us in the first place. You just don't. It's like going to the gym. If you're lean and fit and healthy and dead strong, you don't need to go to the gym to get to be those things. You just need to maintain them. Well, they're two different programs, I'm afraid, and diets.
So, now, John, the most exciting part of the episode. The bronze community. Dun, dun, dun. We got a question that Holly, the little fucking, forgot to give us last week.
Spanner. I didn't raise her properly, did I?
No. Honestly, John, you should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm going to beat her with a stick when I see her.
So, please do. So, Mr. Joe Horton. Joe has a question saying, right, once you've identified your ideal client avatar and they've accepted a connection request on LinkedIn, how long should you wait to shoot them a direct message? And what is a good approach to take if you don't want to come across as spammy McSpam-faced?
Okay. The optimum time is precisely 13 minutes and 42 and a half seconds. That's a joke, by the way. I would say there is no right time. And if there is, I would defy anybody to know what it is. And Connor has got someone else in the room. I'm guessing it's probably Tamsin.
Yes, Tamsin is in the room and she's looking rather stressed.
Well, mind you, I would be stressed if I was living with you, to be fair. So there is, to say what is the right time, what's the best time, nobody actually knows. I would say probably the best time, or it's certainly, I can think of reasons for it being the best time, is right at the beginning. So what I mean by that is have a decent connection request. In Core Control, we actually have examples of the connection requests we have used. I can't remember if they're in the book, The Well-Fed Freelancer, or not. Probably not. But our welcome message, and so we've tested several of these, are along the lines of, hi, I'm Fred. This is what I do. I'm on LinkedIn to do business, not to make best friends and chew the fat or get engagement. Most people in your industry have this problem. I've got a free book you can download to help you solve it. No pitch, no sale, whatever, no strings. Along those lines. So my connection request is immediately positioning me as, I'm here to do business. Here's something free to help you. There are no strings attached. Download it. Now, of course, you would probably get rejected by many people with that request, which is why most people won't do it. But that's not spam. All right. Spam. People misunderstand the word spam. Spam is actually unsolicited commercial email. Okay. Sending someone a connection request with that kind of modifier in it is not spam. It might not resonate well with them. They might get pissed off about it. They might think you all kinds of things, but it's not spam. You only have 300 characters, by the way, in your connection message. So please be, it's quite some work to get it right or to get it good. Now, the other side of the coin is when people connect with me, I have a reply that basically says, I'm here to, thanks for the connection request. You've got no idea what you're letting yourself in for. There are 3 ways to get my help, whatever. Download this book. Just play around with it. But my point is that the actual wording isn't that important, and you can change it and just test it and the rest of it. But what is important is right from the get-go, you are offering people a taste of who you are, what you do, and what you're about. We say this quite openly. We try to get a no as early as possible, because if I sit down or get on a call with someone, probably 8 out of 10 are going to say no. That's fine. 8 out of 10 inquiries rather go nowhere. So the sooner I get a no, the better. So there's no better time to get a no than writing my connection request or in there my reply to their connection request. You've connected with me. Well, this is me. This is what I'm doing. If you don't like it, fuck off again. Effectively. So, Joe, that's my answer to that question.
And Joe has also shared a little win. He put out his £5 ebook / membership bundle late yesterday to LinkedIn and mailing list, and he got his first sale. That first sale of a new product, a new ebook, that's like a big hit of heroin. That is. But the best part is he got a reply to his first daily email. His first daily email he sent to his list. Someone replied to it and said, yeah, let's do it. Let's work together.
Right. That is excellent. Although, remember what I said, Joe, the worst kind of prospect is an enthusiastic one. That person said, yes, let's work. Yes, let's work together. But stop. Say no. Steady on, Tiger. I don't even know who you are or what you're doing. What help do you need and why do you think I can offer it to you? Because any other response, like, yeah, this sounds great, let's work together, you've got no fucking idea what you're saying yes to. You don't know what his problems are. He doesn't know how much you're going to charge for it. You don't know what kind of person he is or anything else. So that's a great response. And I'm glad you've got it. And it's positive and it's indicative that it may go somewhere. But you've got to remember, treat them mean to keep them keen. You've got to be standoffish. And the more enthusiastic a prospect or a client is, the more standoffish and the more no you have to be. I say about dating and marketing being the same thing because they're co-opted on the same brain structures. This is the same as that. Nothing's more off-putting to, in the mating rituals, in the mating dance, nothing's more off-putting than someone who is constantly messaging, constantly phoning, okay? And you know that as soon as you maybe you're sending them a WhatsApp and you see them come online and you see them waiting, and as soon as you send it, it goes blue, and they're just waiting for your message, and then it comes back instantly. There's nothing more off-putting than any of that. Yeah, keep a bit of mystery.
What girls call that is they say that gives them. Sorry, they say behavior like that gives them the ick, ICK.
Yeah, I get it.
The ick. And if you ask them to describe what it is, they can't. They just say it gives me this dirty feeling that puts me off them. Just
I know icky. I can sense what the ick probably feels like. I remember years. I'm going back 30 years now. I had a girlfriend. I was around business for a week in Geneva, and when I got back, the guy who was lodging with me says, "What's her name?" I think it was Tracy, actually. Seriously, no, it wasn't Tracy.
Sorry to any Tracys listening.
She was apparently driving up and down my street on her little scooter, looking in my window slowly to see if I was back yet. And I told her I wasn't back for a week. Now, this was before I didn't have a mobile phone at the time. So this was before mobile phones were popular, certainly before smartphones. So there was no instant message or WhatsApp or anything like that, not even SMS. So it wasn't like she could check up on me otherwise, but she was driving up and down my road to see. Terry, that was her name, Teresa. Driving up and down my road on a scooter to see if I was there. That gave me the ick, and I dumped her.
Yeah, that's pretty icky.
Yeah.
talking about icky and looking out for yourself, we posted a clip into the group not long ago about selfishness and how it's a virtue and how you must be prioritizing looking after yourself, even if it's deemed quote unquote selfish. And fortunately, everyone agreed. Everyone said agree, 100%. We all need to be taking care of ourselves. But someone asked, is that selfishness? I think of it more as self-care. And then when someone else said, they also said 100%. There's a lot of 100%s in there, talking about putting themselves first, figuring out their priorities, and just fucking getting it done. But that's good. It's good that no one disagreed, because then we'd have some issues. We'd have to be looking at our messaging. we like an echo chamber, John. We don't want people to question us.
It's fortunate people agree. I don't give a shit if they agree or not.
It means we're attracting the right sort of people. And
Yes,
then you had a
does.
little chat with I just got to explain it. And you had a little discussion with old Patty, didn't you, about A/B testing tools?
Oh, yes. Well,
So
I didn't really have a discussion. I just told him to use the Google ones because you might as well. I have no other than the ones in Thrive. I have no experience. I have no recent experience with any A/B testing tools other than Thrive's native ones. So if I hadn't got those, I would probably go with Google's because Google's stuff is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is to invite you, the listeners, to join us in the community. There's actually a little bit of life in there now since we've started giving it a bit of TLC. People sharing their wins, people getting help with the questions. As you can see, we answer them here on this podcast, and we actually answer them in the group. John answers the A/B testing question in the group. And we're having conversations prompted from this podcast. We just lift some of our favorite clips from the podcast, we put it in the group, and we have a little discussion about it. If you want to get involved in that, it's not free, but it is just £5. At the moment, the only way in is to go to thewellfedfreelancer.com and get yourself a copy of the book for £5. So even if you're not a freelancer, because we don't exclusively work with freelancers, go to the Well-Fed Freelancer, get yourself a copy of the book, and enjoy the membership site. There's a shit ton of courses, programs, all free and ready, available to you once you've bought the book, and you can get your slice of the fun
for £5 with a double your money back plus a pizza guarantee.
We would give it away for free, and we often do, but that's under our control. But the reason we do it at £5 is we don't want dickheads in there. It's going to sound awful, but I'm sure we've all been part of groups and Facebook groups and whatnot that looked really bloody promising. Then all of a sudden, they start growing. And because it's free, any cunt joins. Now, all of a sudden, the conversation and the quality of the group just tanks. And it's a place you never want to be, and you end up leaving. And then you're lost, you're alone, you're lonely, you're cold. And then you end up hanging off the edge of a bit of rope, off the edge of a bridge. That's not what we want. We want to keep the conversation quality high.
On that topic, this is actually true. Connor will remember this. We were a part of a very high-end mastermind probably a couple of years ago now, and it was very good. And the guy who runs it, his integrity and the rest of it is unimpeachable. But they changed their model to one where you could join, and I think you didn't start paying until you got results with them.
Yeah,
I don't know if there was a time limit on that, but
yeah.
It was, you work with them for free for some period of time, and you didn't have to pay unless you got results. And very, very quickly, the quality of the people in the group went right fucking downhill to the point we left, because it became full of freeloaders and whiners and people with the most appalling entitlement attitude.
Desperate people.
There's a cautionary tale. When you're charging a high rate and everyone's paying a high rate to be in a group, you don't get arseholes like that. When you drop your prices to the point you're giving it away for free as a taster to give value, you start getting fucking arseholes. Do you remember that, Connor?
I do.
We won't mention the guy.
No, we love the guy. I think Absolutely. He's solid.
And his work is superb.
Yeah, top stuff. I remember that clearly. And it's why we're very selective over Elite. More selective over Elite than anything else that we offer, because it's personal. We're in a room with people, and the rule of thumb is if me nor John would be happy sat at the bar with you for an evening having a few beers, we wouldn't let you in. Yeah, just the two of us, not me and John, me and whoever this is, or John and whoever this prospect is. We wouldn't let them in because they're just going to ruin the group. The other reason that that group that we were a part of went downhill is you could smell the desperation on these people. They've been obviously been given a month or two to get results. So they were just filling this group up with just the most desperate questions going. They weren't going through the program slowly. They weren't, devouring every last bit, processing it, and then implementing it. It was all done from fear and desperation because they're like, oh my God, I've got this opportunity. I need to make a sale within this month. Otherwise, they're going to kick me out and I'm going to be poor. I'm going to be a failure. So they weren't even watching the fucking videos that they were supposed to watch. They were just going straight to the group going, I need a client this month. Help me, guys. And we're like, hang on a fucking minute. We're paying like, what was it, like 26 grand for the year to be part of this?
Something like that. That was dollars, so it was about 20k UK.
About 20k. And it was just like, oh my God, let's get out of here. Because the main reason we were enjoying it was the community. Everyone was so high level. We were one of the poorest people in the group, which was like, oh my God, this is eye-opening. This is embarrassing. That's how high level
went to
this
Los
group
Angeles.
Was. Yeah.
We even went to LA, didn't we?
And these desperate people, they came in, and guess what? We no longer felt like small fish. Like, this is the first time in a while we smelled like small fish, which was great motivation to grow. All of a sudden, these little fucking krill, that's what they were. They were krill. And we became a whale, and we just absorbed them all. And then we felt like Billy Big Bollocks and was like, nah, enough for us.
What really did it for me was there's one guy came in asking questions and advice. And then he put it all together into a book and offered the first chapter for free to the other members of the group that had just helped him get this book right. And said, if you want the rest of it, it's like $15. And I remember posting in reply to that, I said, are you seriously asking the very people who've just helped you get this right to pay you for your book in this group? Are you serious? And I thought then, I don't want anything to do with this anymore.
Yeah, that's
scummy.
Imagine in Elite. Bear in mind, everyone in Elite at some point goes on to write a book. I've still got all of the old ones from fucking years ago.
Yeah, I have on my fucking
imagine,
bookcase,
John.
Yeah.
Imagine, John. Someone writes a book in Elite, and they say to the other members, "Oh, you're gonna have to buy a copy." No, when you write your book, you turn up to that fucking meeting with like 20 signed copies to hand out.
Imagine it'd be worse if they've sat in a hot seat and been told exactly how to write the book, and then at the next meeting come back and expect people to buy it, having been told how to write it in their hot seat 3 months before. I'd kick them out. I'd tell them to leave.
Yeah.
Don't want people. But they wouldn't even get in. Anyway.
No, they wouldn't.
This is a good episode, but it's a long one, as the actress said to the bishop.
Yeah, well, we want the longer episodes because we're uploading shorter clips. The longer episodes... People like us, John. They think we're funny for some reason.
No, they're like me. They think you're a wonky-legged millennial. They told me.
And they think you're an old man who stumbles over his words going, I think, I'll say.
Sorry. How's your skincare routine, Connor?
How's your shaving routine, wonk face?
Hang on a minute. No. Don't try and change the topic. How's your skincare routine?
Beautiful. Guys, if you want to look at my skin, go on YouTube. Yeah. The funny thing is, John's trying to take the piss out of me. Look, I'm glowing. I'm beautiful. Look at John. Fucking tomato.
Tomato. With a wonky beard.
With a wonky beard. Well, yeah, as I said, we're the living examples of what we preach. And you have no worries being dishevelled, mate.
No, none at all.
It's a credit to you, honestly.
You're not going to upset me. You wanker!
Oh, God. If I could upset you, I don't think we'd be friends. Oh, God. No. That's another thing. I can't be friends with people that I feel like I've got to tread on eggshells with. Right, should we get on to the final point and then we can wrap this insanity up? This loops back perfectly to the beginning. Prospects don't want a low price. John, what do they want more than a low price?
I tell you what, ultimately, never mind they want quality, they want service. You know what they actually want? They want someone to take care of them and to relieve them of their pain. That's fundamentally it. They want to know whatever their problem is. It doesn't matter whether it's getting a girlfriend, being taller, having better eyesight, having a better business, having a nicer home so they don't have what they call house embarrassment, all that kind of thing. Whatever they want a cessation of their pain and their frustration, their worry and their anxiety, and they want someone to take them by the hand and lead them through the minefield to get to where they need to be. That's what they want. They want to be taken care of. It feeds into our natural human propensity to believe in God. God's going to look after us. You know, our parents are going to look after us. There is someone
There's
out
a
there,
plan for us.
government, who's going to take care of us and make everything okay. That's what people want.
Mm-hmm.
Fundamentally. Look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs and you won't really go far wrong.
And that's why one of the things we teach is extreme ownership. We've been talking about that way, 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 way long before it hit the mainstream with Mr. Jocko Willink, I do believe.
Willink, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, talking about it in Elite Hot Seats when people, I don't want to say pissing and moaning, but they're wailing. They're feeling a little bit down on their luck. And they go, and we say, well, you can cry all you like.
But your
Might not even
be
be
there.
as a, yeah. These problems are not a direct action of a direct result of your actions, but it is your responsibility to fix it. What I can't stand, and going slightly off topic, is people who moan about their staff. Everything your staff does is your fault.
It's like people who moan about their children's behaviour, especially young children, or their spouses.
Mm.
You know, I've said this in Elite. This is a conversation you should be having with your wife, stroke husband, not with me.
Yeah.
What is the point in you coming to Cork and complaining about your wife or your husband, and you've just told me you've not had this conversation with him or her already? Why are you bothering me with it? Now that might seem like it's uncaring, but it's absolutely spot on. This isn't a conversation you need to be having with me. You need to be talking with the person that's giving you the fucking anxiety and the worry and the grief, not me.
But unfortunately, and fortunately for you as a business owner, unfortunately for the world, unfortunately most people don't want to take extreme ownership of things. They're looking for someone else to take ownership of it for them. So if you, as the expert, come in and you've got a well-crafted signature offer that takes them from A to B, where they are and where they want to be, and you map out all the obstacles and how you're going to help them overcome it, and you talk of this wonderful life they're going to have, and you talk about their problems going away forever, that's what prospects really want. At that point, price barely comes into it. They just need to know what number to put in their banking app. It's no longer a topic of conversation. Prospects just want to be taken care of. It's the umbilical cord, isn't it?
I was just going to say it's umbilical cord in the hand, and they just want to plug it into you. And here's another thing, right? If you might tell me you don't like selling, but if you don't sell to prospects and you just like let them go away empty-handed, they won't go away and do nothing. They'll probably give their money to someone else in your industry who might not even be as good as you at doing what you do, but is better at selling themselves.
Mm-hmm. And you need to bear in mind that everything that you're doing is essentially sales. Every time you're asking someone to take an action, you're essentially selling them on the benefit of taking that action, whether it's opting into a lead magnet, whether it's getting in touch to talk about that conservatory, whether it's inviting you into their home to have a little bit look at the details so you can spec it out, whether it's you're asking them for a yes or no to go ahead with the works. All of those things require sales. And a big part of sales is being able to paint a picture of their nirvana, what it will look like once you've helped them solve all of their problems and all of the little obstacles that they're going to face. People don't give a shit about a low price. John's going blind. He'll give you all the money in his bank account to save his eyesight. Yeah.
Connor's got wonky leg. He'll pay anything for a fucking wedge for his shoe.
Exactly.
Is that it? We done?
I think we are, mate. I think we are. Can you do a little outro just promoting Elite and telling them where to go if they want to get on the wait list?
Yeah, Elite, we're opening the doors April the 3rd. We will take applications because it is application only. It's a 2-stage process. Interview with Connor, then interview with me. Then we'll make you an offer if you're suitable, at which point you will say yes or no. Anything but a yes or no is a no, as far as I'm concerned. We will be conducting interviews from that week, the 3rd of April. So the time to get on the waiting list is now. And we'll be taking people in the order in which they book their calls, basically. So the sooner you get in, the sooner we'll get to you to offer you a call with Connor. And the sooner we offer you a call with Connor, the sooner you get a call with me. There are just 4 places available. Now, applying for it is no guarantee of being offered a place. If we do turn you down, do turn you away, just remember, please, it is probably not personal. It might be, but it's mostly likely because you're just not a fit financially or temperamentally, or your business isn't a good fit. All right. But once those 4 places are gone, we'll be closing the doors again, probably until, probably this time next year, or certainly January the 1st, 2024. So you need to go to wellfedbusiness.com/elite-waitlist, all one word, waitlist. Follow the simple on-screen instructions, and we'll be in touch anon. Oh, yeah, and the calls with us are free, by the way.
Yeah. So that's wellfedbusiness.com/elite-waitlist. And on that page is like 15 bullet points, essentially explaining how it works and how we hold you accountable, how essentially the mechanics of being part of Elite. And then there's also, more importantly, a description of the type of person you must be to even join the waitlist. That's probably the most important part. So that's wellfedbusiness.com/elite-waitlist. We've been wonderful. You've been listening. And we'll smell you later, alligators. Gonna say bye?
Bye, boys and girls.